Okay. All right. So I had to do a little research right quick, but when before I left, I was talking about how people were so upset that the immigrants, illegal immigrants, had to go back to Mexico, and Trump wanted to build the wall, which is fucked up. That they should have built that wall. Trump should have came out of pocket if he had to build that wall because it's ridiculous the amount of people that come here tax free and just slop up everything that's supposed to go to black people who built this fucking country. We not gonna act like black people didn't build everything, and y'all look down on us for the reasons that you all look down on us for. I don't have to list them. You know what it is. That's how you end the system of white supremacy. Pay what's owed. Give us our fucking reparations and leave us the fuck alone as Americans. To black people that's trolling through this, I see I got a lot of trolls in this motherfucker tonight. For black people that's listening to this, y'all keep getting suckered in thinking that everything is alright because you too weak to fight. White folk have weakened us. They took discipline out the household. That was the ultimate destruction of black Americans. Now white folk have the stranglehold over black Americans, specifically to allow this to keep happening. And no matter how long you go up with their system, when it's time to throw you in the trash, they will. They isolate you so that you'll be further and further away from your people. I know it's frustrating. You get to a certain point and then you look back and all you people down there like, oh shit, I need you to pull, but you still got your life to live on top of that. Trust me, I understand. It's frustrating. So imagine trying to help millions of black Americans in America that's struggling because they aren't classified as American citizens. Like I said, we did everything between trying to love the whites, be friends with the whites, be family with the whites. We tried to fight the whites. We tried to defend ourselves against the whites. To this day, a lot of us are still trying to get the whites to understand. Yet millions of black people are suffering in America. At what point do that end? We got to get it. We got to cut the problem from the root. And this weakness that they implanted in our hearts and in our brains and shit, we got to get that out. When we get rid of the whites, we get rid of the drugs, clean our minds up. It's the whites that's bringing it within the communities. Make you think that that's the only way out. And we see where that lead to. We don't have to get into none of that. We got to cut it from the root. We got to cut the problem from the root. No other ethnicity could tell me about racism that they've experienced because there is no real systematic racism exploited upon you people beyond words. Words. Not only do we got it, they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Black Americans, say I'm lying. Tell me if I'm bullshitting. I don't give a fuck how good white society have been to you for majority of your lifetime. Tell me that you did not, at certain points, have to take the words that didn't hurt, but take those sticks and stones to the face, up your back, down your spine, in your brain. Didn't it injure you? It wasn't that long ago that white folk put our babies in the ovens. I take that back. These not our babies. These are people that could have been our uncles, our aunts, our cousins. White folk was hanging us, slaughtering us. No shame whatsoever. No shame. White folk got a history of killing us. We don't have a history of killing white folk. White folk got a history of killing us in the most brutal fashion imaginable. It's so many different stories, real stories. And white folk call me racist because they want to keep bypassing issues and problems. And I won't let it happen. That's why y'all scared to face me. I'm not going to let it happen. I don't let it happen. I won't let it happen. I'm not trolling a damn thing. I'm serious about my wrestling. I'm a professional wrestling fan. And I want to see better for my people. Now, lately, I've been going hard on AEW. And this is going to tie in with the Indian guy, the humble wrestling guy. Lately, I've been going in on AEW because AEW is the newer company. They coming in and they are making some type of noise in the wrestling industry, in America at least. Yeah, I look at their roster, and for the last, 3 years, white folk have been throwing out to me, Jay Cargill. I ain't seen Jay Cargill wrestle on Dynamite. I don't know. I don't watch it, but I read. I see what the fuck going on. And I ain't seen her wrestle in how long, so that argument got still Anyway, a year ago. Powerhouse Hobbs. Oh, he won the TNT championship, wherever the fuck that shit came from. And then, come to find out when I checked back onto this shit, I did my biweekly report and shit, and checked back up on it, and he done lost the motherfucker. Like, damn, what the fuck? Did he defend the bitch? Did you pinch the bitch? You lost that motherfucker. And white folk about to throw you in my face for like 3 years. Another 3 years. Oh, remember when Hobbs won the TNT championship? Yep. Tell me all about his championship reign. Oh, hold on, let me see. Nah, by that time I done took my shit and, they still trying to say his name and they ain't said shit. And he just won the TNT championship. Championships don't mean, stop throwing championships in my face. That don't mean shit if you're not doing nothing with them as champion. When Bobby Lashley was WWE champion, they didn't just make him champion because he was black. They was doing shit with him before, during, and after. I can appreciate that. What the fuck are they gonna do with Hobbs now? That he won the TNT championship and lost the TNT championship. And why is he the only black name that y'all trying to throw at me? Like, that's not the biggest issue. The AEW roster is very, very light with black wrestlers. They are missing. Oh, I see her face everywhere I go, on the streets or even at the picture show, because I'm surrounded around black people. But when I look on my television set from an AEW, they just not there. But guess what, Latino people? I see Commando, I see Benito, and I see all these other motherfucking Mexican burritos. I see a bunch of these motherfuckers. They just flying all over the motherfucking place. Y'all satisfied? That's what I'm talking about. Y'all feel racism. We experience the racism. We deal with the racism. It's a new company. We should give it a chance. Whoop de whoop, whoop de whoop. Hey, maybe they were saying that shit about the WWF in the 60s. Oh shit, it's a new company. Give it a chance. Okay, the 80s get here. Vince McMahon. Oh shit, it's a new regime. Okay, we're gonna give it a chance. We're gonna wait. Okay, still no success as far as black wrestlers just being on top and being flooded. I mean, like, there's always been a very low percentage of black wrestlers on the card. Like, I always imagine how it would be if it was no white wrestlers on the program and how white folk would react to that after one episode. So, black people can't feel a certain type of way about how they feel. That's white supremacy. Don't get mad about what I say. That's what makes you the racist. I'm only looking out for the freedom of my people. I mean, you would like to see white folks successful. Indian people would like to see Indian people successful. Latino people would like to see Latino people successful. African people would like to see African people successful. Jamaican man would like to see Jamaicans successful. English people would like to see English people successful. But it always seemed to be an issue when Black Americans want to see Black Americans be proud and want to see greater representation than what Jews and whites control. White folk good at telling black people to stay in their fucking lane. Y'all got control of these neighborhoods. And you look down on us wondering why certain neighborhoods is running the fuck down. At what point do we end the system of white supremacy? That's how you got us to turn on each other. To where you make it to where black people can't even stand to look at each other. How the fuck long are black people going to allow that to continue? When we cleanse ourselves, we cleanse our brains, we cleanse our minds. But we can't do it in their presence. Along with reparations come land. So it's not just money. We can't keep looking at it as a money situation. Along with reparations come land. We are due an overabundance amount of land. So that's why it's important to get rid of these illegals, because we got to start pushing for our reparations so we can get our freedom. And that start with economics and land. So we wouldn't have to depend on white folk for anything. How can you try to fight? We've been pushing and fighting for white folk to give us jobs, but they lock us up. Hey, we'll give a few people jobs and we'll get the rest of these motherfuckers. We'll lock them up. We'll save those for the real episodes of Wrestling with Racism. To all you trolling motherfuckers, you can type and type and type and type and type whatever the fuck you want. But when it come down to facing me like a man, verbally, I'm not trying to threaten and fight y'all. We're not gonna meet up in person and do all this other that shit. None of that shit is gonna happen. None of it. But you can type anything that you want to. 140 characters. But when I'm speaking fact to you verbally, you're afraid. I understand that I scare you people. But it's best for you people to not come at me at all. I make my comment and I move on. If I ask someone a question, I'm asking that person a question. I have a right to do that. No one else should try to ask or try to understand why and all this other different shit. It's none of your fucking business. There's nothing to try to understand if I'm not talking to you. You come at me when it's your turn. And if you come respectful, then I come back at you respectful. I'm very respectful to people that's respectful to me. But my thing is, soon as white folk or any other type of people see the word black, they just go, wow, they go crazy. Like I just really said something wrong. Why is it an issue discussing racism? It should never be an issue discussing racism. It's a discussion. Apparently, you don't want to discuss it because you don't want any type of change. I move for my people. I'm not out here bragging about anything that I do for my people. And I'm not required to. But if you want some shit to happen, sometimes you gotta make a little bit of noise. Make a little bit of noise. And white folk, black people, are scared to make that noise. The ones that's not, they are blackballed. You never heard of them. You will never hear of them. So what's the next logical thing to do? You separate from them. It's time for white folk to make their exit plan.